Hello everyone, Burton's back. We're continuing with our Mallister series, and as you can see here we have the lovely Riverlands. If we go in a little bit closer we can see we're in a spot of bother. Essentially what's happened, if you haven't watched the previous episode, is that Holster has forced our hand. He's trying to take the Cape of Eagles from us here. Aegon Targaryen, son of Rhaegar Targaryen. We're actually defending him, so he's forced our hand. We said no, we're not going to release his vassalship, and instead the war has automatically been declared against the tyranny of Lord Holster of the Riverlands, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, except he's already called in Eddard of the North, so the Starks are with them. So that leaves us with a few predicaments. Obviously a lot of you guys have left some comments saying maybe it's best just to actually give up, save your money, save your troops and plan for bigger and better things. Whereas some people have said, well, maybe might be one or two other things you can do. Holster is of course an old man and maybe, accidents do happen. So what I've decided we're going to do is we're not going to surrender. We're going to be fighting on. Now the best I can hope for is a white peace, and there's a couple of ways I think we're going to try and make that happen. Now the Tullys themselves, they're going to use their main weapon, and essentially that's their amount of men that they can raise. Our main weapon is slightly different to that, and it involves a certain spider. As you can see, we've got Varys. Varys we're going to point to Scheme and Riverrun. He's already there anyway. But this is with the hope that we can go ahead and expedite a kidnap plot. Now unfortunately we can't do it on his direct heir Edmure, because if we tried that, I don't think we have enough plot power to actually take care of that. And that doesn't stop us from going ahead and trying it with Leslin. So that's the youngest daughter of Lord Holster. Plot power is not too bad at 126. We're going to go ahead and instigate that right now. If we put everything in order, we can see that we do have quite a few people already giving us the thumbs up for the go ahead. We're just going to add this lady here, Tiana, and hopefully that'll push it over. One of the things that we'll have to do, unfortunately Rhaegar is stuck in his job role, so right now he can't lead troops unless I do the following. And that's just appoint a new Master of Arms. So our new Master of Arms we're going to put to Simmons, which is completely fine, as he's currently leading a set of troops, 982. Now what we're going to do is, in fact before we start talking about troop movements, we just have to try and raise this a little bit. The reason why we're doing this, we're just trying to get an extra few men out of our levies. I don't think it's going to get us too many. We're probably talking about, I don't know, 300-400 maximum. So I'm just going to bring these guys down a little bit. We'll combine you guys together for now. You're going to remain in Stilfen, and that's your job. So essentially, we've got to think about who's commanding our troops. I'm obviously going to take the centre of any battle that we've got. Rhaegar, he's going to go ahead and be on one of our flanks because I believe he does have a great flanking ability. That leaves us one side open. I don't really feel like we have anyone capable of doing that right now. So we're going to go ahead and see if there's someone else that, isn't in a position of high power, who does like us and who would potentially help us. There's Rhaegar, you can see him there. He's a knight. There we go. He's got a great flanking ability, so he's not going to be leading at the centre. As you see, he can actually do us more harm than good in the centre. Let's see if we can find someone we like. Oh, Talbot, he likes us. Let's have a quick look at him. Brilliant commander. Falconer. Okay, he's unyielding. That's great for us. and he leads from the rear. So that gives us great defense. Damage -20. Okay, I think it might be a good idea. So we can have him as the very defensive minded person, perhaps in the centre. Have Rygar on our left side, who will be the more aggressive flanker, and I'll take the other flank. So we'll see if we can get him. Yeah, that should go ahead, that should be fine. In the interim periods, these troops here are all liege troops. We're just gonna disband them. And the reason why we're doing this is because obviously we're trying to push through a law, and I want them on this side of the river. Now these troops here, these are going to be our harrying troops. So Simmons is going to go ahead and he's going to take out this small army here. These mercenaries here are going to be reinforcing, so they're going to go straight down behind him and meet up. Now hopefully these two combined forces together can then take care of this force before anyone else crosses. Before I forget, we will need some money because this is going to be fairly expensive. So we're going to go to the Iron Bank and take 100 gold. That allows us to get together some mercenaries. Before we raise the mercenaries, we're going to do one quick thing, and we're going to get ourselves a quick win. In Gratian, we're going to raise up the local levies, and we're just going to take care of these troops in Cannon. So essentially that's going to be our first move right now. There's not too much else we're going to do at the moment, at least until a few days pass. We want to try and obviously get as much money as we can, so we'll get Denise and the twins to try and get us some gold if possible. So we'll play ahead a few days and we'll see exactly if anything does happen. So they've raised up the majority of their troops now, as we can see. Unfortunately for us, they're besieging the Brackens. What that means is the Brackens are only able to raise up 800 men rather than the potential 2,000 or so we would have gotten from here. So what we need to do is try and take their attention away from that somehow. Hopefully our little skirmishes here, they will help. There we go. So we have got their attention. It looks like the Stilfen siege has actually forced them to move away from Blackwood Vale. Sorry, move towards Blackwood Vale and away from Stonehenge. So that's good. Our first battle is going on. Simmons is going ahead. In fact, he's already won it. He's already turned them, and that's great. Great news for us. So they're turning all together. Tiana, she's got in touch in regards to the plot. We're going to send her a small gift of 5 gold, and we're just going to stop and have a look where we're up to now. So that'll add another one onto it. So let's start inviting these people across. So just to confirm, we're essentially just trying to stall as much as we can until we can try and kidnap some of his family members, maybe turn the tide that way. And remember as well, we've got to do all of this before the Starks gather their forces up north and then march for the south, so we don't have a long time at all. Now, as we can see here, we've got 1,500 men. The good news is they're moving away from us. That's fine. That means these guys will be fine. Simmons will carry on with his harassment there. Let's pause things up a little bit. So we're keeping an eye on these. They're heading towards Red Fork. Red Fork is here, so potentially they're going over. The Brackens have raised the majority of their men now. Simmons is going to be chasing the 738 stack, and they'll be with him fairly soon, which is completely fine by me. Okay, so Talbot has joined us. That's great. Let's test him out a little bit. We'll put him commanding these guys for now. And then we'll try and move him in a little bit after we've won this battle. So that's great news. The Lords of Sea Guards, they've approved the institution of large feudal levies law. Try saying that with a mouthful. So now we can call up the rest of our men. So let's see exactly what we've got to play with here. So, it's not great. Could be worse though. So let's get everyone together as quickly as we can. The siege of Stilfen is going to actually move. And we're going to send them over to Marley Bay. And we're going to bring down the majority of my men down to Stilfen. Now obviously we're doing this for a very adamant reason, and that's we're blocking both sides. So if any of these forces are going up, we're going to actually be preventing them for some time in moving. Now that's myself leading that force. Well, we don't want Merivald leading that, so we'll put it for Rygar for now, at least until we all join up together. That's completely fine there. Looks like this force of 738 here are going to elude Simmons, so we might hold up our men in Greenfork. But it's going to take a bit more time than anticipated to actually catch them. Oh, I spoke too soon, there was a force actually hiding there. So Simmons has got a battle he didn't expect. And they're already routed, that's excellent, well done Simmons. This is exactly what we wanted, so Lady Leslin, she will be soon leaving the castle to go on a trip to the countryside with only a small guard. My co-conspirators have prepared an ambush and are only waiting for my signal to attack the carriage and the doctor. Okay, so we've got a good chance that this will succeed, so let's send the signal and hopefully we can grab hold of one of them. So we've ambushed Lady Leslin's carriage on the lonely stretch of road in the countryside. Her guards scattered before us, and one of my men blindfolded and bound Lady Leslin. She is now safely locked away in my dungeons to do with as I please. Excellent news. As you can see, it's not affected this that much at all, which is completely fine. Right, there we go. So we succeeded with that plot. Let's pause things up. We need to get the next one going. So it'll be Edsmuir. So we've got slightly increased power now. Not an awful lot, but it might be enough to try and push something through. So who have we got on our side right now? We've got Damon and we've got Manfred Lauriston. So what we'll do before we raise up any mercenaries and spend our money is we'll just try and win these two people over to us. I'm only a bit fearful that these guys might cost us about 20 gold each, but it may be worth it. So let's get many people as we can on board with that. While we're at it, we'll raise we'll be able to raise 2 more stacks. Yeah, we'll raise 2. In fact, we could get 1 more if we needed to, but then we're going to be hemorrhaging money. That'll leave us with 50. It's not good for a prolonged war, but we may need it. Right, we'll go ahead and we'll do that. So that'll give us a stack of 5950. Let's just shift Rygar over, and we'll wait for this battle to be over, and then we'll get Talbot on board with that as well. So it looks like their army have stopped in Redfort, so they're setting up a bit of a blockade for us, possibly. Possibly they're just waiting for the Starks and cutting us off from our allies at the same time, because right now the Brackens aren't doing anything, they're sitting put. Simmons has won that battle, they're going to Chiltern, we're gonna chase them down there. By that time, hopefully, reinforcements have made it to the Greenfork. So far so good in the war here. Let's wait for this battle. Excellent, we've won that war as well. So Talbot, you can dismiss your troops. We'll get you up here on the flank now. In fact, let's just join them together now. In fact, Talbot, we said he was going to go in the centre because of his defensive actions. We'll get Rygar over with the most amount of troops, and I'll take the left side. And that's how we're going to stack up. We've got these troops joining together, it looks like. So they're going Red Fork and they're going to Holloway's Town. So potentially we can have a stack of, you know, over 9,500 here, which will be a problem for Simmons. But that's something we're going to have a look at a later time. If they do go over, that might be good. We might be able to bring our force down here, crush this, crush these, and then link up with the Brackens. So that's the plan going forward. And with that, we're going to leave this episode. So thanks for all your thumbs up, all your comments and the battle strategies and things like that. Hopefully you're enjoying the series, and the next episode will be up very soon. Cheers.